What is up, gamers? My name is Lonk, and today I'm going to be once again talking about something else that I have recently watched. God, I've just become a review channel, I guess, or a recommendation channel, also, I guess. I don't know. I really need to get back into making things about ongoing topics and stuff rather than just like my favorite shows or favorite games or what I thought of a game or what I thought of something that started as a Newgrounds project over a decade ago, which is what I'm going to be talking about today. So if you haven't heard, there's a game called Friday Night Funkin', and it's a game where you go beep boop skiddy dee boop bop, and then you win the girl. That's literally all it is. And then there's a lot of mods for it, and one of those mods is the Tricky mod, which is said to be harder than Ballistic. I don't really agree with that. I do think it's a hell of a lot more chaotic than Ballistic, but I don't think it's harder. It kinda is, but it also kinda isn't. It really depends. I didn't really see it as that, like, that hard compared to Ballistic. So, basically, Tricky is from a Newgrounds series called Madness Combat. And out of curiosity to the origins of this wacky clown, little side note, that was an entire rabbit hole I was not expecting to go down, because there's like an entire like large community of people making fan projects of Madness Combat. So you have like the canon series, and you have like dozens of other series that are based off of Madness Combat. And really, like, to boil it all down, it's about some dude named Hank, even though I don't really think he started out with a name. He was just shown as the protagonist. I'm not really sure if his name was decided before or after it said, oh, this is the protagonist, but I don't know. Anyway, so the dude's name's Hank. He goes on a killing spree for various reasons that I'm not really gonna get into. It's a trip. Like, the second half of it is like a fucking drug trip, to sum it up. Like, it goes from this dude just slapping people around left and right to now he's in hell and trying to get out of hell, and there's also another guy trying to get out of hell or something. I don't fucking know what the story is. It's fucking weird, dude. But yeah, it is actually really interesting to see. Cause like, at first I was like, oh, this is just gonna be some Newgrounds thing, and then I'm just gonna lose interest in it. But like, as I kept watching, it kept getting more and more interesting. A few gripes I had towards the beginning were much more fleshed out, such as the protagonist was indistinguishable from literally all of the other things that the protagonist is fighting. Hell, in the first one, I didn't even know who the protagonist was until he killed everyone and was just like, and then started dancing, and I was like, okay, so that's the guy I was supposed to be rooting for. I thought it weird that, like, all these dudes are, like, attacking each other, and then there's just this one dude dodging them all left and right. I didn't even know he was the protagonist. I just thought there was a bunch of people fighting each other. So that's one problem I had with it. Eventually, you know, he gets bandaged because he got shot, and then, like, he eventually gets an entirely new fit, and, like, he's actually got the drip, and, like, he actually looks good. And actually, it looks like a character you would expect from something like Madness Combat. And then there's Tricky, who was a clown that got shot, and then shot again, and then stabbed, and then he became green after he got stabbed with his own weapon, and was like, am zombie clown now, hahaha. It's basically Tricky is like a zombie clown that can't die, except he does die, but we don't get into that. It's really wacky, and I literally like looked into it out of sheer curiosity, because I saw this because it looked interesting. It like Witty. He looks cool, but I mean, I don't really care where he comes from, because I don't really care about him. I think the idea of ballistic and stuff was really good. He was like the first like guy who was put into Friday Night Funkin' for the sole reason of being hard and actually like giving a challenge to rhythm gamers who wanted a challenge, and even fixed some of the issues with Friday Night Funkin's rhythm system, such as, for some reason, if there's like a bunch of notes and you hit all of them, for some reason it just refuses to take in new inputs for a bit. I'm not really sure what causes that, but it's really wacky. So it fixed that, and it also allowed for controls that wasn't WASD and the arrow keys, which is nice. You instead use DFJK, which is a hell of a lot easier, even though it's right next to the R key, which some people have been complaining about. I haven't really found any issues using the R key, or not hitting the R key. I don't know, that could just be because like my fingers are much more towards the back end of, or like the back part of the keys, so like I don't really risk hitting the R key by accident, because I'm not like hitting. It's kind of hard to explain my finger placement in reference to the keys. I'm not really sure how to describe it, but like I haven't really had any issues with hitting the R key, even after like I was fighting Witty and shit. I still didn't have that problem, which apparently was like when the problem was most prevalent. And some people took to removing the R key just so they could fight Witty, and I'm just like, what the fuck? But yeah. Overall, Madness Combat's pretty wacky. It's got a lot of lore to it. I'll give it that. It has a lot of lore to it. It's just like not fully comprehensible unless you like actually look into it for yourself. And it's just really wacky. Basically, if you want to like if you want to do like a half hour or so binge of it, you can. It's not that long of a series. Each episode's only a few minutes long. So I'm not really sure what else to say here. I guess if there was anything else to discuss, there's also Jesus. Jesus is also a combatant in Madness Combat, I guess you would say. Trying to think of other things. Oh yeah, there's also there's Hank, and then there's also Sanford and Deimos. And basically Sanford and Deimos, I don't know what their deal is. For some reason they want to help Hank, even though I think Hank is more or less a villain, because he's needlessly and violently murdering a bunch of people for some unknown reason, presumably. So apparently, I guess Sanford and Deimos want to help him with that. I don't understand. Their introduction was literally throwing him a sword, backing up, and then a building falls on them, because there's like a reality bending thing in the show, or in the series. It's not really a show, it's more of a series which is technically different, called the Improbable Drive, and it's also the thing that keeps Witty alive, apparently. I don't know. Really wacky stuff. You do not kill Clown. Clown kills you. Lonk kills you as well. Don't forget that. You cannot kill Lonk. Lonk kills you. And speaking of Lonk, I'm going to head out. So, bye.